There is no we. There's only I. And it's not I as in the sense of me per se. It was the great I am that I am. So I was all that exists. I am the dream inside of the I am. Everything that we call real, everything we identify as other, is simply a shape that the I am wears. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Light Journal Podcast. I'm Jamie Perez, and today is about our encounter with the divine. Not through rigid methodologies, but through a living, breathing conversation that draws from a multitude of different spiritual traditions. Each path, each methodology offers us a unique lens, a different way in which to encounter the divine. So this episode is meant to be an invitation to practice, to explore, and to create your own way of meditating and communing with the divine, a way that speaks to your unique needs and your unique style of communication. I'm going to touch on several different forms of spiritual practice and meditation that I've used in my own spiritual framework. So that's going to include things like shamanic journeying, Buddhism, Taoism, New Age, and some animistic teachings. But I also want to talk about what happens when you let all of that go, when you surrender the technique and just let Spirit show you what you really need to see right now, right here in this moment. This morning, I began with my typical morning routine. I sat in my armchair, I quieted my mind, and just sought the light within. Then I began envisioning a higher frequency world, one filled with peace, love, collaboration, and cooperation. Now, I often lean into this type envisioning practice based off of New Age manifestation type teachings that, well, they encourage us to see a higher vibrational reality than the one that we're currently in. And yet, I did this for a while, and I began to feel like, no, Jamie, you need to just let go. Just release all control over what you see. And just let the Spirit show you what it needs to show you. Now, that isn't necessarily going to be what my mind desires or what I've been taught to focus on, but I just need to listen, to be present for what Spirit has for me. So that's what I did. And immediately the journey shifted. Spirit took me not through any visualization techniques, but on a shamanic passage, an animistic experience. One by one, I became the chair I was sitting on, the walls of the home that I was in. I became my husband. I became the fire, the water, the breath in my lungs. I became the sky, the stars, the planets. And then of all things, I became Putin. I became the people of Russia. I became Trump. And I became all the citizens of the United States. I became the Congress. And then all of it just went away. The stories, the names, the separations, the only thing that remained out of all of this was a deep and abiding awareness that there is no we. There's only I. And it's not I as in the sense of me per se. It was the great I am that I am. So I was all that exists. I am the dream inside of the I am. Everything that we call real, everything we identify as other, is simply a shape that the I am wears. everything we're going through, everything we're seeing, it's just a role in the dream. And that role will continue in the dream until that story is complete. And that's when the I am reabsorbs all of those roles, all of those things and experiences, just reabsorbs it all, reabsorbs everything, and begins all over again. Now, what I experienced in this wasn't something new or unique to me. It didn't originate with me. This message has been something humanity has been tapping into for millennia. In the Vedic tradition, they call it Brahman, the ultimate reality, the unchanging I behind the ever-changing world. In the Amazonian shamanism, the ayahuasca journeys often reveal the dissolution of self and the perception of all life as one breathing entity dreamed into form. And then in Taoism, the Tao is the nameless source, the womb of 10,000 things. And in the Kabbalah, it's Ein Sof, the infinite form from which all arises and returns. In Buddhism, the illusion of separateness is the root of suffering, and enlightenment is the realization that there is no other. There's only form and emptiness arising into awareness. We're all dreaming the dream of source, of the divine, because we are source, we are the divine, we are the I am expressed in an infinite number of stories, an infinite number of faces, an infinite number of meditations. That experience really brought home for me the truth that meditation is not about the methodology. It's about our communion with the divine, with spirit. It's a language that the divine speaks through us. And that language has a lot of different dialects. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to explore some of them with you. We're going to start with shamanic meditation. Shamanism is one of the oldest spiritual technologies or methodologies or perceptions of the world on earth. Its meditations are rooted in journeying, using tools like drumming, rattling, or breath work to alter consciousness and enter into non-ordinary realms. The goal isn't to empty the mind, but to travel, meeting guides, power animals, ancestors, and elementals that all have a message that can benefit us in some way. This is animistic at its core, grounded in the belief that everything, from the stones to the rivers to the clouds to the animals, everything is alive and sacred, all part of that one I am. In many ways, my meditation this morning was a shamanic journey. I didn't intend it that way, but that's what Spirit did. That's what Spirit took me on, a shamanic journey. And that's the thing about meditation. It's less about controlling the process and more about just surrendering to the mystery of what is. So next is Buddhism, particularly Vipassana or Zen. This meditation is about stillness, presence, and clarity. So you just take the time to observe your breath. You notice your thoughts as they float across your mind, just like clouds in the sky. And you come home to the idea that whatever is doesn't need to be judged. And you don't need to create a visualization. You don't need to manifest. No, instead, within this tradition, you just become aware of your body, of your thoughts, of everything that is part of your experience. The profound teaching here is you don't need to do anything to touch God. You just need to stop running away from this present moment. You need to be still and experience this present moment. Okay? And then there's the Taoist meditation that invites us into the flow, into the mystery of the Tao. It's the way that cannot be named. Taoist practices include inner alchemy, transformation within oneself. It focuses on breath work. It focuses on working with the energies that circulate in, through, and around us. Once again, you don't need to escape the body. In this case, you're actually using the body as a sacred vessel. Taoism teaches that everything is already in harmony. Your job? Stop resisting it. Stop resisting the unity that is. And then, like water, Spirit will move through you because you left the space for it to pass through. Right? It's really cool. And then there's New Age meditation. And this gives us a very rich palette of meditative tools because it too is really an eclectic combination of things that come from Hinduism and other different practices. So that's why you find chakra work, affirmations, Merkaba activations, ascension grids, guided visualizations, and other things. These practices are beautiful and they are expansive and they are empowering because they help us to envision new timelines, higher frequencies, the healed earth, and they train our mind to the possibilities that lay beyond what we're experiencing in this present moment. And yet, sometimes even these beautiful tools can become filters. When I started the meditation this morning, I was in the New Age flow. I was trying to project light and uplift the earth, but the Spirit had something else in mind. And that's the invitation. Let your practices serve you, but don't become enslaved to them. Be willing to be interrupted by Spirit. Be willing to be shown a new path, a new way of experiencing what is. Okay, and then the last one I want to talk about is animism, and it really isn't a meditation technique. It's more of a way of seeing and being in the world. It recognizes that the rock has a voice, that the tree has a soul, that the wind is whispering secrets. And the meditation here is like walking through the forest. When you are silent in the forest, you hear all of the things in the forest talking to you. Anybody who's been in a forest, a living forest, knows it is very loud. It is not quiet. And you just hear the birds, the insects, the animals, the trees. They're all talking, right? And the same happens if you sit beside a stream. You just sit there and you watch the water flow. You see what flows within it. You watch the fish, the leaves, the grass. You watch the colors of the stream change as they crash over the rocks. And it's when you're sitting there and you're just letting this flow happen, kind of like Taoism, right? But you're letting this flow happen, that you remember you and the water are one and the same. Once again, it's not about leaving your body to find God. It's about sinking deeper into the earth to find the Spirit that's already there. So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with the permission to explore different methodologies, to blend them into a unique tapestry of practices that serve you, that enhance your ability to listen, to be present, to experience all the different ways that Spirit can and will speak to you when you give space, when you allow space for that communication to take place. So you can engage in chanting one day and sit in silence the next. You can walk in nature, listening to all that's around you. Or you can take a journey with drums, letting that beat resonate with your heart until you and the vibration become one. And the spirit enters into that beat with you, allowing you to travel on its many pathways and journeys. Or you can breathe with intention. And within each breath, experience the divinity that's flowing in and out through you. Or you can even just sit in your bathtub and cry. Each of these are just doorways. None of them is the way. All of them are a way. The point isn't to master a particular technique. The point is to show up and be present for the mystery of what is. To let the I am speak through your body, your breath, your imagination, your silence, through your environment. Just let the meditation evolve so it becomes intimate and uniquely yours. Because no matter what methodology you use, whether you're burning sage or repeating mantras, praying rosaries, or walking in the forest, what you're really doing is opening up the door to remembering that you are the dreamer. You are the dream. You are the I am. Thanks for listening to the Light Journal Podcast. I'm Jamie Perez. If anything in today's episode sparked something into you, I'd love to hear about it. Please be sure to make comments below. If you like, go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who might find this message helpful. You can also connect with me on YouTube or through Facebook. And above all, I encourage you just to keep listening. Just keep being open to the various ways in which the Spirit is speaking. You know, the Spirit isn't just speaking through this podcast, but in that quiet voice inside of you. That's the voice of the I am, dreaming through you. Blessings on your journey, everyone.